Good evening. Good evening. This is the Dolores County Broadcasting Network. And fortunately, or unfortunately, depending on your perspective, I didn't report about the New York Jets this week. Monday we weren't here. Tuesday I was the camera person. And today I am the news director. And fortunately, I have nothing to report other than Sports Illustrated basically said that the manager of the New York Jets is probably one of the worst in the league. But that's here nor there. So here we go. The DCTV 4-H Evening News Program for Wednesday, February 20th, 2019. Camera person is Cowboy Devin Harrison. Video engineer, sound engineer, producer is Edward. Teleprompter and prompter is Myra. Our news anchor is Daniel, my heart Faulkner. Meteorologist is Scooter Faulkner.
Yeah.
and this
He said Scooter.
and this is news director Dan saying, this is the news.
Welcome to the DCTV 4-H Kids Evening News Show. Help us keep our news show on the air by becoming a sponsor. You can buy a sponsorship by calling 970-677-419. That's 970-677-419. Now for the news. Hi, I am Daniel, and our first story is from the Denver Post. Hate groups in Colorado increased in 2018, Southern Poverty Law Center says. Colorado continues to see a rise in active hate groups on par with national trends. A Southern Poverty Law Center hate map released Wednesday shows the Alabama-based center said its definition of hate groups is similar to that of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The agency defines hate groups as those that describe to beliefs which attack or malign a class of people. The group tracked 22 hate group location in Colorado in 2018, an increase from one from 2017's report. Nationally, the SPLC listed 1,020 active hate group locations at 7% increase from 2017 and at a new all-time high since the group began tracking hate groups more than 2 decades ago. The numbers top the previous high of 2018 reached during the high of what Intelligence Project Director for the SPLC, Heidi Barich, called the backlash against former President Barack Obama. Colorado list includes ideologies that are anti-Muslim, anti-LGBT, white nationalist, neo-Nazi, Christian identify, and black nationalist, among others. 3 chapters of Identity Europa were listed on the map. A white nationalist group that has been making the rounds in the Front Range passing out literature or placing its logo around cities. The group's chapters are in Denver, Colorado Springs, and Boulder. However, reports of the group's presence over the past year in Loveland, Fort Collins, and Greeley have also surfaced. The SPLC counted each chapter of the alt-high group individually in its report. The Denver Post attempted to contact these 3 organizations on the hate list but was not successful in reaching them. The hate movement has been lived in over the last few years. Belle Rich said she asserted that President Donald Trump and his administration have fueled the rise in hate groups through fear-mongering against Muslims, Jews, immigrants, LGBT individuals, and other marginalized groups. This story is from the Durango Herald. Subaru thrashed in Durango neighborhood. Bear that broke into a Subaru early Friday in Durango took it for a short ride, rolling it out of a driveway and crashing it into a mailbox. The commotion woke Ron Cornelius and his wife, who found the trashed Subaru in their yard on Timberline Drive in southwest Colorado. Usually I don't get up till 5 o'clock unless there's a bear driving a car down the street, Cornelius joked. After the bear broke into the car, it likely released a parking brake somehow, he said. The couple didn't see the bear leave the SUV and called 911 after the crash because they didn't know if people were to blame and possibly still in the vehicle. The car rolled backward from neighbor's home into Cornelius's mailbox and over some utility boxes, he said. La Plata County Sheriff Office deputies determined a bear was to blame because it defecated in the car, likely because it was nervous, Cornelius said. It also ripped up the interior of the vehicle. It pulled the steering wheel straight off the shaft, ripped the radio out of the dash, and busted out the back window. It would have taken a human being hours to do what that bear did in a couple minutes, he said. He wasn't sure what was in the vehicle that attracted the bear. Bears have been active around Durango this summer, breaking into garbage cans and cars. City code enforcement officers have responded to more than 200 complaints involving bears and trash so far this year. Last year, the officers responded to 56 bear calls total, said Code Enforcement Officer Steve Barkley. Most people are upgrading trash cans to the wildlife-resistant containers, but it's important for residents to remember to keep those cans closed and secure, he said. A late frost on June 10th hurt acorn and berry production in the mountains. The bears rely on wood normally be ripening around this time of year, but bears aren't finding them, said Colorado Parks and Wildlife spokesman Joe Lewandowski. He expects this year will be tough on the bear's population. We are expecting a lot of cub mortality, he said. The story from the Durango Herald. A tale of two forecast weather observers offer different predictions for snowfall this week. Southwest Colorado is buried in deep snow and more is coming, but exactly how much may be up to debate. Anywhere between 4 and 20 inches of snow is predicted to fall during the next few days in Durango, and such a broad range isn't the fault of unpredictable weather, but rather disagreeing weather reports. The National Weather Service and federal agency tasked with compiling data, making forecasts, and issuing warnings predicts 4 to 12 inches through Thursday in Durango. We have won the snow lottery this week, another system bringing heavy snowfall to southwest Colorado and southeast Utah. This evening, though, Friday. But Jeff Gibbons, a local realtor and a self-taught weather observer with a Facebook following of 8,100 people, predicts 12 to 20 inches during the same time period in Durango. Gibbons uses 3 decades of informal meteorology studies together with my local knowledge of the terrain to bring you a concise individual weather outlook for your location in southwest Colorado, according to his Facebook page. So who is right? Who will prove to be the more accurate prognosticator? Time will tell. In the meantime, here's an explanation of why Gibbons at the National Weather Service may be offering different forecasts. Megan Stackhouse, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service, said the federal agency uses multiple models, both conservative and liberal, to predict a range of snow that may fall. Some predict only a few inches of snow, while others show up to 2 feet dropping in the same location. Stackhouse said the National Weather Service publishes in its winter storm warnings is an average of what will fall across southwest Colorado and southeastern Utah. Stackhouse said that means the winter storm warning forecast for Durango is an average of what will fall in the low country across the region. It is often difficult to predict weather in southwest Colorado, where there is diverse elevation gradient and bit of forecasting blind spot with Doppler radar. That's set to change, however, after the Colorado Department of Local Affairs awarded $1.7 million in funding for the permanent radar system. The story from the Cortez Journal. Snowboarder apparently triggered avalanche that killed man. Search and rescue and Telluride Ski Patrol have recovered the body of a backcountry skier who was killed in the avalanche Tuesday in Bear Creek Preserve area in Telluride, according to the San Miguel County Sheriff's Office. Searchers found the body of 47-year-old Salvador Garcia Atens with a probe line near the creek of the top of the Bear Creek Trail about 11:30 a.m. Wednesday. Of course, this is not the outcome any of us were hoping for. On behalf of myself and all of us involved in the mission, we extend our sincerest condolences to Mr. Garcia Atens's family, Sheriff Bill Masters said. The avalanche occurred between 10 and 11 a.m. Tuesday in the Temper area of Bear Creek, a coilier of Telluride Ski Resort. By order of the sheriff, Telluride ski lifts 14 and 6 were ordered closed for much of Wednesday for the safety of rescue efforts. Bear Creek Trail and the lifts have reported, but the avalanche threat continues. Whether you are walking your dog, skinning up, or backcountry skiing, Bear Creek is not a safe place to be, Sheriff Master said. The steep Bear Creek drainage attracts experienced backcountry skiers and snowboarders. In February 2018, legendary Telluride snowboarder Gabe Wright died after a fatal crash in the Bear Creek backcountry. There were no signs of an avalanche on the scene. The Telluride area is under a considerable avalanche danger warning, according to the Colorado Avalanche Information Center. Dangerous avalanche conditions exist above the near timberline. Cautious route finding and conservative decision making essential, the warning states. A winter storm warning is in effect for 5 p.m. Wednesday to 5 p.m. Friday in the San Juan Mountains. 12 to 24 inches of snow is suspected, with up to 33 inches of higher elevations. Now for Dumb Laws with Hannah.
Our dumb law segment that are still on the books in many towns, cities, and states. Dumb laws in Oregon cities. In Portland, shoelaces must be tied while walking down the street. It is against the law for a wedding ceremony to be performed at the skating rink. People may not whistle underwater. You cannot wear roller skates in the restrooms. Trucks may not be parked on the streets. Riders of sleds may not attach themselves to passing cars. In Springfield, it is illegal to own a reptile within the city limits unless you are a school or a city as a pet. In Stanfield, cloth towel dispensers are banned from restrooms. No more than 2 people may share a single drink. In Yamhill, it is illegal to predict the future. No one may allow their cellular door to remain open. Now for the weather report. Our current weather data comes from the DCTV weather station located in the beautiful downtown Dove Creek. The current temperature is 22 degrees. The high for today was 22 degrees. The low was 14 degrees. The barometer is at 29.95 inches and is falling. Humidity is at 96%. Wind is between 1 and 9 miles per hour from the northwest. Gusts have been up to 19 miles per hour. There were 0.00 of an inch of moisture melted today in the DCTV weather station. Moisture for the month is 0.06 of an inch. Moisture accumulation for the year is 0.26 of an inch. Now for the big map, courtesy of the National Weather Service. Rain and thunderstorms follow the Oregon coast into California. Rain mixed with snow also begins in Oregon and goes through California. Snow begins along the Washington and Oregon border and goes east into Montana and south to end in Arizona and New Mexico. The snow also covers the area from California into New Mexico. Arizona has a small area of rain in the south. Most of the middle of the country is clear. Snow begins in North Dakota and runs through Wisconsin, where it goes into Canada until it reaches Maine and ends in the Atlantic. This pink shaded area indicating the freezing rain is possible. This tan line that indicates most of the east of the U.S. means rain with thunderstorms over most of the east coast and the south. The rain shaded part warns that flashy flooding may occur. Here is our exclusive DCTV 5-day forecast. Thursday, snow showers, high 26, low 17. Friday, snow showers, high 28, low 7. Saturday, mostly sunny, high 26, low 8. Sunday, partly sunny, high 29, low 14. Monday, partly sunny, high 31, low 14. Now we present you with the SNOTEL report, which is the amount of snowpack in the mountains across the state. We hope it will be helpful for our farmers. Statewide, the snowpack is at 115%. Here in the Southwest, we only have 118% of normal. Now for the climate change report. CO2 carbon dioxide is considered a greenhouse gas and is one of the principal causes of climate change. CO2 traps heat in the atmosphere, which causes climate instability. This results in significant variations worldwide in moisture and hot and cool temperatures. But the general climate trend is the planet is slowly warming. Therefore, it is important that we report the CO2 weekly change. The following are the CO2 numbers in parts per million. Last week, 412.41. 2 weeks ago, 411.63. Last year, 408.55. 10 years ago, 387.17. 50 years ago, 324.42. Thank you, Dr. Peters Hands, the National Oceanographic Atmospheric Administration, and Michael McGee of the CO2.Earth Network for providing this information. Remember, you can help keep our Kids News Show on air by buying a sponsorship. To become a sponsor, just call 970-677-4119. That's 970-677-4119. Thank you. Now back to your news director.
That is the end of today's DCTV 4-H evening news program. This is your news director, Dan, saying good night and thank you for watching.